In just 6 minutes, this video summarizes the 1.5-hour-long podcast about the mysteries of John the Baptist, hosted by Alex O'Connor with James McGrath on 31st January 25. In this interview, they discuss a wide range of topics from the mystery surrounding John the Baptist to his relationship with Jesus. Now let's talk about the key takeaways from the podcast. Takeaway 1. Mystery of John the Baptist. John the Baptist is described as one of the most mysterious figures in the New Testament due to the limited information available about him despite his significant role. His identity is often reduced to the guy who baptized Jesus. But this simplification masks deeper questions about his role, teachings, and influence. McGrath has written 2 books on John to address this mystery, focusing on both scholarly and popular audiences. John's depiction as a wild, homeless-looking man conflicts with his influential status during his time, suggesting a need to challenge popular stereotypes. Takeaway 2. John's influence and fame. John the Baptist was more famous in his time than Jesus, influencing a wide audience through his presence at key travel routes rather than in urban centers. His influence extended far beyond his immediate ministry, with disciples of his still found in places like Ephesus after his death. His movement was significant enough that some believed Jesus was John resurrected, highlighting John's impact on public consciousness. Takeaway 3. Baptism and its significance. The term Baptist, or the Baptiser, was not a technical term but a nickname, indicating John was known for immersion or dunking for spiritual purposes. John's baptism was for repentance and forgiveness of sins, which was a direct challenge to the temple's role in offering forgiveness through sacrifices. The act of baptism by John could potentially be seen as an alternative to temple practices, influencing how early Christians thought about religious ritual. Takeaway 4. Relationship with Jesus. There's a historical suggestion that Jesus might have been a follower of John before becoming a leader himself, which complicates traditional Christian narratives. The baptism of Jesus by John is seen as potentially problematic in Christian theology, leading to different interpretations or even omissions in some gospel accounts. McGrath speculates that Jesus might have felt some responsibility for John's imprisonment due to his actions in the temple, which could have influenced Jesus' self-understanding. Takeaway 5. Theological debates and interpretations. The Gospel of John seems to engage polemically with views that might have elevated John, emphasizing that John was not the light but a witness to it. The idea of John as a kind of dual Messiah with Jesus, possibly representing the priestly Messiah, is explored, which might reflect early expectations or interpretations.
If you're enjoying this video, please leave a like below and share this video in your WhatsApp groups. You can also discuss about this video by commenting below. To get more such videos in your timeline, press the subscribe button below.
Takeaway 6. Gnostic connections. The Mandeans, a still existing Gnostic group, revere John the Baptist but not Jesus, suggesting a historical link to John's non-Christian followers. Mandean texts offer alternative narratives of the baptism of Jesus, where Jesus is portrayed negatively, showing a polemical stance against Christianity. These texts also provide insights into how John's movement might have diverged into different theological directions. Takeaway 7. John's execution. John's execution by Herod Antipas is depicted with dramatic elements in the Gospels, possibly exaggerated or skewed for narrative purposes. Historical accounts suggest John was imprisoned for a time before execution, hinting at political motives behind his arrest related to his critique of Herod's marital decisions. Takeaway 8. John's role in early Christianity. John's movement played a critical role in the formation of early Christian thinking, with some of his followers transitioning into the Jesus movement. The early Christian message still included John's baptism for the forgiveness of sins, showing continuity from John to Jesus' ministry. Takeaway 9. Scholarly and popular narratives. McGrath's books offer both a deep scholarly dive and a narrative biography to cater to different audiences, providing a comprehensive look at John's life and influence. The scholarly work delves into textual analysis and historical context, while the popular book tells John's story in an accessible narrative form. Takeaway 10. Impact on modern Christian understanding. The discussion suggests that understanding the historical John the Baptist might challenge some traditional Christian views, particularly around Jesus' divinity and humanity. The complexity of John's character and his relationship with Jesus could lead Christians to reconsider or deepen their theological perspectives based on scriptural evidence rather than creedal interpretations. Let's start with a brief introduction about the guest, James McGrath. James Frank McGrath is the Clarence L. Goodwin Chair in New Testament Language and Literature at Butler University. He is known for his work on early Christianity, Mandeism, criticism of the Christ myth theory, and the analysis of religion in science fiction. He is the author of the books John of History and Christmaker. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this summary of the Alex O'Connor podcast with James Frank McGrath informative. If you're interested in learning more about these topics, I encourage you to watch the full podcast on YouTube. If you enjoyed watching this video, please leave a like below and share this video in your WhatsApp groups. You can also discuss about this video by commenting below. To get more such videos in your timeline, press the subscribe button below.